back to what we're talking about as far as the brand values and having a compass to form those strategic partnerships.
That's exactly right. So the value...
And having that compass of like, well, how can we, you know, scale our marketing? How are we going to communicate? What is our front line of communication strategically?
Right. What is the experience that we want our constituents, our target audience, which is everyone. It wasn't like, oh, B2B, this, it was everybody. Everyone should be able to accept a payment from anyone. What is the tone that you're going to use? And then that's going to, you know, be born out of the value proposition and the value system that you've created, and then you evolve that. You know, they started off as this sort of newfangled thing, and then they're in every Apple store for $10. And the penetration just obviously increased pretty exponentially, and now they're a different thing now, right? They're part of the conversation, they're part of business, they're part of, you know, they're accessible to everyone, and they've opened up so many different doors for different people. So the value has to change now, right? It's not like, hey, this is cool thing, you can actually get people to, you know, pay you for all of this sort of work. It's now a global phenomenon that allows many more people to participate in the retail conversation. So that's an example that I think is really edifying, in that it started off as, hey, there's a friction point here that doesn't need to be there. Here's the solution at an ID level, right, industrial design level, and how do we break that down to be able to then allow it to communicate and resonate with the most amount of people? You just call it Square, and your website is squareup.com. So you're having that conversation with people constantly, using language and a tone that is as democratic and as populist as can be. So that's an example of, from start to finish, because it was a startup, it was a proper startup, from start to finish, how you can actually go from startup to a pretty influential brand.
Yeah, you said one great word that I want to point out, and the word is relationship. I think that's the key word in what you're talking about. And essentially, if you go back, way back, Microsoft, this is what Bill Gates did. This is why Microsoft took off. He did the same thing. He went to a whole bunch of companies. He said, I'm going to open up my platform to you to build software. I'm going to give it to you for free. You can build, and Apple did not do that back in the day. And he won because of that. And today, relationship, and I love what you said about tone and discussion and a relationship. And that pervades. It starts, that's the beginning of the conversation, and then you have social media and all the other media that you're participating in to continue that conversation. So I think that's a really important point to focus on, is this is a relationship you're building with your customer. And you know how to start talking to them from the very beginning.
I want to add something that I think is really important for everyone to keep in mind, because we have talked a lot about how branding is so critical to get it at the beginning, in the pregnancy, is everything. But I think, so I have talked to, even though I work at Publcis Health and most of my clients are big farmers, but I have worked with startups before. And I think back to your question, Tran, one of the key things that startup people often have misunderstood about branding is that they think only big companies with marketing department with tons of money can afford marketing and branding. The fact is, and I'm holding in my hand these two things, women in the room, you recognize this? I have been walking into so many boardroom meetings recently, and I see CEO, head of marketing, the women in the room have this in front of their paper. And this is yours. And branding can be EOS. So it's a natural skincare, lip balms, and hand lotion. And the whole tagline is evolution of smoothness. They're all about smoothness. If you look at it, hand lotion, normally when you go to do and read, you see that tube, ugly tube, right? You don't see this smoothness. You don't see, like, you just want to hold on to it. So they launched with this, and even that the lip balm originally, I don't have it now, it's like the eye shape, it's so smooth. Yeah. And then once they have really built their brand equity, and my gosh, when you go to do and read, they stand out on the shelf because no one else has that eye shape. Once they have built that, then they move into this more ergonomic thing that you can easily put in your pocket, but still, if you look at this top of the thing, it has that smoothness, it has that, you almost can't explain it because it's very emotional. So what I'm trying to say is, don't think of branding as something, oh, only big companies, only those who can afford branding consultancy. Branding is what you believe in, what you stand for, which will permeate everything you do down to the single packaging component of your product. I just want to make it like really simple. If you don't have money, you don't have time, you just need your passion, conviction, your belief in what you stand for.